Yes, we'll get started. Happy New Year to everyone. And we made it through 2020. So let's hope 2021 is going to be an outstanding year. Would someone like to make a motion that we accept the minutes of the December meeting?
So moved.
Approved. So the minutes have been approved. Park Street Pump Station update. Tony's going to give us an update, and Mike on that. And also Tony sent out an updated thing on just recently about the issues of the sewer. So Tony, why don't you go ahead with this?
I'll start with the pump station, I guess.
Yes.
There was a little hiccup with getting the agreement to Dave Prickett. So he didn't receive it till like the week before Christmas. I thought Mike Canales was going to send it, and he thought I was going to send it, and it kind of sat on his desk for like an extra week. And then Dave contacted me and said that, hey, I haven't gotten the agreement yet. So we got it down to him. And of course, it was right around the holiday. So I spoke with him this morning, and he has been in touch with two different vendors, two submersible pump people and two suction lift pump people. So he's waiting to hear back with a proposal and some kind of schematic on what they could provide us down there for both types of suction lift and submersible setups. And the time frame to get back to us for that, we discussed this morning. He thought he would have solid answers by Martin Luther King week, which is 2 weeks from basically yet. Well, Martin Luther King's two weeks from yesterday. Mm-hmm. So we'll know approximately the approximate cost of what the pump options will be from the different vendors. And also it'll give him time to do some other stuff. So basically by the third week in January, we'll have that information. And then by the fourth week in January, I'm hoping maybe, I guess we can't, we'll have to maybe wait for our February meeting because we can't legally just Zoom kind of without being, what do you call it? Given the 2 week notice period. So by the end of this month, as promised with his agreement, we should be on track to figure out approximately the cost of what we need to finance.
Okay.
That's what our goal.
That's our goal was. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. And with the holiday and stuff, everyone kind of, it's a weird time for people. People are on vacation and stuff. He said his office was like half staffed for like 10 days or something. Mm-hmm. So, but he assured me they're back with their sleeves rolled up now and well rested, if you will.
Everyone's on board,
ready to go. That's what he said.
Yeah, good.
And then, I was on a conference call with him and James Rivers, who's his associate, who was actually the infield person on our when they did phase 1 and 2 of our I&I study. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of, we've actually. I was reading the email that was sent in 2018 that gave us a year of reprieve from doing any of the work that was, correcting the actions that was found when they did the I&I study. And so we were given a year. It's been 2. And so, we kind of want to stay on the state's radar on this, with submitting something. So that's why I sent you this kind of chart here, the graph that kind of, and he wanted me to ask you guys tonight if you could take a look at it over the next day or two and maybe get back to me through an email, just to kind of give your and these numbers aren't set in stone by any means. But we need to kind of in early 21 here before maybe the middle of February, file something with the state that says we're still moving forward with our I&I project. This is where we're at. We're getting ready to fund and build a pump station, and that's a big component. And as you can see, in the numbers that he used were the original numbers from the original design. So that will, that'll be less. And I guess from a verbal conversation with Dan Krapaska, Dan's satisfied that for a couple fiscal years, because he knows our fiscal situation, we can't just pull
Right.
millions out of our
$4 million
hat.
out, yeah.
That'll be okay. And then, but by like 2023 and 24, fiscal year 23 and 24, they want to kind of see us following a path towards fixing and repairing what they found from the I&I study. And it doesn't all have to be done at once. It can be done in small chunks.
But we need to show them moving forward.
Yeah, you know, it's an actual CMR law now, and every community over a certain size, and I'm not sure what the threshold is. And of course, you know, we were lucky enough to fall in the threshold that we have to do it. But you know, if you look at that, he's looking at like around 100,000 to 130,000 a year. And I just think that that's a reach for us, but you know, maybe we can find some middle ground there where we can get some work done. And, you know, I just don't want to get some kind of consent order sent to us saying, hey, why aren't you guys moving forward with it? Why aren't you filing?
No, that's the last thing we want to do.
Exactly. You know, we've never rolled like that. And it's better to submit something than nothing, if you will.
Right. And some of these other things too, Tony, don't you, I mean, you go out to bid on this stuff. I mean, they just gave you an estimate of what it might cost.
It's an opinion of cost.
Yeah, those things certainly could change.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if we want to spend, say if we want to spend $50,000 to $75,000 a year, you know, I think that one of the things they really want us to look at, and he mentioned in the I&I study, and believe it or not, it's coming up on 36 years or 37 years old, is parts of the Beechwood sewer, which, you know,
really,
well, they want the state, at the end of the day, what the state wants is they want a complete asset management plan of the entire collection system. And to be able to do that, I guess, obviously you've got to be able to camera and inspect your whole system.
Yeah, I saw that it was the cost of that inspection is outrageous. I mean, it's huge. It's $80,000.
Yeah, I hear you. But there's a lot of lineal footage up in Beechwood.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, it'll, I mean, that pipes, I mean, we flush water down through the mains in the spring and the fall when we, you know, go up and pump all the low pressure manholes out. But as far as like the lateral branches on all those little birch lanes and maple lanes and all those places where they have such low flows, you know, I think they really should be cleaned and cambered. And if you're going to clean them, you might as well camber them just to see what's going on up there, and then it'll satisfy the state. And we don't have to do the whole area at once. I mean, I think the state's going to be satisfied as long as we're moving forward. As you can see on there, I mean, we're 8 years. There's a plot of 8 years on the grant. So, you know, we can certainly
prioritize things and
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
In the actual report in phase 1 and 2, and I think we spoke about this. It's been like over a year now. The prioritization was Maple and Elm Street. There seems to be some combined stuff up there that we've known about.
Right.
You know, a couple catch basins that I think are intermingled with our sewer on Maple, or on Elm, I mean, and possibly Maple. And fortunately, that's 8-inch pipe, so I think it can be lined, and you know, probably will parallel into some manhole work too. But you know, if that's an area where we're getting some heavy I&I during storm, you think
it's coming from there,
events, then you know, it should be fixed.
Yeah, and we've had good luck with lining, so that works.
So that's where that is. So I'm really anxious to see. I mean, I was looking at the line items that he had in the original pump station design. And I think I spoke of this at the last meeting, or maybe the meeting before, like the mag meter vault. That's going to go away. If we use our existing force main, we're going to save like an estimated 30 to 40,000. So the cost is going to come down. I mean, I really don't think that it's going to be half the price of what he thought it was going to be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but
okay.
You know, I just don't want to keep kicking the can down the road on this. We've been, you know, it was 4 years ago when we were ready to go, and then we kind of scaled back.
We did.
And I know the finance committee's kind of for it.
Yeah, no, I
And if we
remember
can-
talking to Steve Schatz about it.
And if
Yeah, I
Mike
think
Can-
we'll keep going, Tony. We'll go forward.
and if Mike Canals could come up with some kind of scheme where it cost us 40,000 a year for 20 years or something like that,
Yeah.
it's palatable,
Yep.
Hang on one second, I got a timer going on. Oh, sorry about that.
Get those eggs done. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Okay, the Curtisville Bridge status. I know I got an email from John concerning the Curtisville Bridge status. And I think, first of all, and I agree with John on this, this is not a rehab of the Curtisville Bridge. This is relocation of a water and sewer pipe on the Curtisville Bridge. And I think any other correspondence that we have from now on should be addressed as that relocation of the pipes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so, Don. I mean, it's been a confusing item, I think, even for me. But when people want to save the Curtisville Bridge, it sounds like we're destroying it. We're not. We're leaving it alone. We're just moving the sewer and the water lines for the benefit of the people who live up there. And I think if we spoke about it in those terms, then we could say, and we'll address the Curtisville Bridge at another time, which isn't really something we can talk about right now because it requires, the presence of other people and certainly is a much bigger project than what we're looking to do right now.
Right. Mike, does that sound good?
Yeah, I mean, we all know why we're doing it. There's been studies on this since 1975. This bridge is in trouble. Not our responsibility, but our water and sewer mains are, and we're taking proactive, preventative measures to make sure our customers have water and sewer. We've looked into for a water main and looked at drilling underneath the brook, but obviously we can't do that because of the short run and how deep it is. Yeah, we're being proactive and getting our utilities taken care of. I think if something did happen with the bridge, I know if something happened with the bridge, everybody would be wondering why we sat on our hands and didn't do anything, and now we're being reactive instead of proactive. So, this has been Lenny had a study started on this. Lenny Tisdale, the highway superintendent, in 2015. I think I sent you guys the reports over the weekend. He's had engineers involved with this for 5 years now.
Yeah, we've been discussing this also for a while.
Yeah, it's in bad shape, and we're just trying to get those utilities. We have a responsibility as the water and sewer board and water and sewer superintendents to be on top of our game and make sure our customers have service. And we have to do this to make sure they do. The selectmen have signed the contract. What we're doing right now is we're waiting for submittals from the construction company, William Keller and Sons, and we're waiting for the schedule from Foresight, the construction schedule. So, I don't think the weather's going to stop them from doing this and starting this. I think they're just getting their stuff together now, and we're just waiting for the construction schedule.
And you met with them also, right, Mike?
Yeah, we met. Let's see, Earl was there, myself, and Earl Moffitt from Foresight. And
we had a Zoom meeting, and then you went up on a site visit, right?
Yeah, and then they wanted to go up there and they wanted to do a site visit. So yeah, it was. They're a big outfit. They got a very, very quite a portfolio. Let's put it that way. I don't think we need to worry about anything. It's pretty much a small little filler job for them, really. And the other thing is we went. We worked on this for an hour or a year and a half, and once we got that letter stating you guys better react a little quicker here. We went to town meeting, and this was all passed at town meeting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
The selectmen approved it. The finance committee approved it. All, you know. So we're not doing anything to the bridge. We're staying out of the bridge area, and this is really going to be a really good thing for when the bridge repair does come. The utilities are going to be out of the bridge workers' way, just like they did up on the bridge on 183 near Larry Walk. So
Yeah, and to that point, they would have to be moved anyway
yes,
for any kind of bridge reclamation to be done.
yes, it
So we're
would
kind of ahead of the curve if you're ever going to
way ahead of it.
recreate the bridge.
and it's out of the way, which is designed that way.
And
How long did they think it's going to take, Mike, to do this?
You know, I didn't ask them that. It didn't seem like it was going to be this. Well, let's put it this way. We had a construction schedule with Virgilio, and I mean, I think it was slated to be done by now if that contract went through. The prior one that we had just about signed. I think it was signed actually. And then they, you know, it all got rebid because of whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to take them very long to do it. I think maybe, you know, a couple months, once they get here on the ground. I mean, I don't think it's going to
And
take.
they can start soon, right?
Yeah. Concom has approved it all. Conservation Commission we have a DEP, or I'm not sure if there's a DEP file number, but there's, you know, Conservation Commission approved all that. So.
Okay, good. Okay, then we'll move on with that. Good, that's great. Beaver issue with the cove, Mike.
We've been knocking the beaver dam down. They are very persistent little critters, as we all know. You know, it's not part of the reservoir now, so it's not part of the water supply, I should say, the small side of Averick Road. But we do have the earthen dam there that we own, and we own like a third of the dam, and I want to say the old Engelman property, I believe, which is Grobman's. The Grobmans that live right across the street, they sold their property, and they live down in St. Augustine, Florida, and they still own 2/3 of that. Where our gatehouse is their property. We have an easement over that dam, so we can maintain the gatehouse. But you know,
Are they aware, Mike, that they own that property?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you remember a few years ago, we had a dam inspection that Mike Coolig did, and I actually when we were looking into all the property up around the lake, I kind of stumbled onto that the property wasn't ours, and we started looking into it, and the Grobmans owned it, and they actually wanted to give it to us, but which I don't blame them for trying, but we said, no, we really, you know, when it comes time to do a lot of work on this dam, because it's going to eventually come, I mean, then it would be all of ours. So at any rate, the beavers cause the water to go over the top of the dam. So we got to keep an eye on it. And Jeff, our forester, traps for us this time of year with the beavers in the lakeside. But it's really hard to trap around. We own quite a bit of property around the small side, but there's a lot of people that walk dogs, and you know, we don't want any interference with pets and stuff. So Jeff was really hesitant to trap on that small side, which I don't blame him. I mean, they got the Taj Mahal for beaver lodges there, that's for sure. But
yeah, that's a beauty.
As a DEP, you know, the DEP could care less. They don't affect the water supply, and even in the water supply, now that we have a water filtration plant, they don't even really. The biggest thing they worry about with the reservoir is them making dams and causing issues with water quality, with stagnant water, like in our feeder stream, and erosion and stuff like that. So they're not even really overly concerned about the beavers in the lake itself. We are, and we trap them legally, but the small side, we'll just keep pestering them away and pulling the little dams they build out of the little outlet there.
That's fine. Yeah.
What's this? Do you need to permit that with the Board of Health, or what is the status of that?
The Board of Health, what we do is if they, in the past, we've had issues with them building dams up above the lake in the woods, quite large dams. And we've gotten Concom involved, and we pull off 10 inches a day so we don't cause a huge erosion and a lot of mud getting into the lake. But if they're within 400 or 500 feet of the lake, we don't need to get really anybody involved. Like I don't even know if Concom really had to get involved, but we just went through the proper channels. And we haven't had problems up there with the beaver dams in a while. And as far as the Board of Health, I don't think we've ever really gotten involved with the Board of Health there, because the water filtration plant, I mean, that's what it's designed for. It's surface water supply, and all that stuff is taken into consideration.
In Massachusetts, the Board of Health is the regulatory authority that regulates beavers. I don't know why. I don't have any problem with removing beavers, but you might just want to check with Michael to make sure that, look, at some people might have a problem with it, and to anticipate that, you might just want to confirm that whatever the rules are around a water supply that exempts you from Board of Health oversight. So I think every time you remove a beaver dam, the Board of Health is the one that has to do the permits.
Yeah, the Board of Health, when we had problems with them, we put culverts in since, and we haven't had issues with them at all. That was, 10 years ago, Tony, we did all that work. It was a while ago.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe even more. So we haven't had any issues with, as far as the little beaver, it's not even really, I mean, it's a beaver dam, but it's only like 6 feet wide, and they're just putting stuff in the end of a little outlet on the side of the road there, and we just yank it out. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good that that's not an issue. On a related thing with the lake, Mike, with the intake, remember we usually have sometimes, we have a clean outs. You go up there with Jay Ryan and Neil, and they do that. You think we should put that on a schedule for maybe the summer?
We'll do that when the water warms up, and then we got to get another mooring ball out there, another marker. I'm going to use stainless steel chain this time, a kind of a lighter, like stainless steel dog chain or something. I mean, I know even the boats up on lakes, they use pretty heavy duty chain with those mooring balls. So I got to get something. The rope, I guess, probably just rotted off after a while. It was a really good heavy marine rope, but
that's been there a long time.
Stuff only lasts so long. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea to get that thing.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll definitely get that on the schedule. I'll talk to Jay and Neil and get that on the docket for this summer. We did it 2 summers ago, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't do it this summer, so it's definitely a good thing to get done.
Yeah. All righty. Access road. Any movement on that at all, or Mike's still working on that?
Mike Coolig got a response from the state, and there was a couple of minor little things that Mike had to send back to them. But Mike Canales is pretty confident. It's going to be maybe some minor signage or something, but other than that, we should be totally fine. And when I was just talking to Mike about that, I said, is it the town or the selectmen, and Patrick, maybe you can put some insight on this. We were looking at paving the new driveway out here, and we do have a little bit of work to do out there, and we can still do that with this weather. I mean, it's fine to be doing what we want to do to widen the areas out for the tankers and the water haulers. But I was talking to Mike about maybe the town go to town meeting floor with an article to pave the whole entire complex here, around the water, the salt shed, the wastewater plant, and the whole driveway at the dump. The last time we did it was 1999, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it in 1999. I think it was going to be part of the highway department project, but I don't think the money's there to do that, and the money's been shoved off onto something else for the project, but it's gonna be a hefty price tag, but it's totally, the driveways are all falling apart and we need to get it done. And maybe that's the time to do it rather than piecemeal it, is look into something in that regard of doing the whole entire place and just getting some contractors to bid on it and set up a scope of work and get it done as a whole.
No, culvert needs to be put there too, right?
Yeah, the culvert, that's really it. The culvert and us widening out those areas for the tankers, and that's really about it. And then, why not have it all done in one shot? The salt trucks and the sludge trucks are they're definitely taking a toll on our driveway, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense to have everything, if you were going to pave, to have everything done at the same time, so it all ages at the same speed, if you will.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, maybe it's not, feasible monetarily. I don't know. Who knows what the price will be, but it does make sense to me.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
looking-
maybe that's something that the selectmen might want to talk about.
I think that Michael's approach in general, which I completely and wholeheartedly agree with, is we need long-term capital plans. That doesn't mean that project has to be put off to the long term. It just means whether it's highway equipment or maintaining your roads or any kind of like replacement equipment like this one on Park Street, we just need to have a plan for it. And then it's easy to budget for the plan and it doesn't become this arbitrary question of whether we spend money or not. Look, like you said, it's 20 years. So it costs 200 grand to pave the last time. It basically costs us 10 grand a year to have pavement down there. And it's going to cost us 10 grand a year for the next 20 years. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that whether it's, Hughes equipment or your equipment or things like these roads, I would just keep talking about what the long-term plan is and build it into the long-term plan. And I'm certainly going to support whatever you come up with.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mike, you want to talk about your help that you have been doing with the with plowing with Hugh?
Yeah, we helped Hugh out plowing with the big storm. He got well, one of the guys had a health issue and couldn't help, so Huey only had 3 guys. So we came in and we plowed during the regular workday and to help him out. But I was talking with Mike and Hugh and basically what's happened, because Lindy's out, he had to have emergency hernia surgery, so he's out for a little bit. So Mark has worked on the truck that Lindy usually drives, the 550, and got it all pretty well snuffed up and ready for plowing. And in heavier situation storms, Mike Canales really wants all the trucks out on the road, ours included, the water and sewer. Pretty much what will happen is me and Mark will come in and Tony will be, because Tony has his own driveways he has to take care of. And it'll be a situation where, it's a big storm and all hands need to be on deck. It's probably not going to happen all that often. But with Lindy out and them being down just with 3 guys, the typical salt run, like on New Year's and all that, and the little, 1-inch little stuff is easy for 3 guys. But in the light of a bigger storm, he'll have Mark's going to be taking one of the highway trucks out. And in the bigger storms, he'll ask all of it, all our 2 trucks to be on the road as well.
In a nor'easter like the big storm we had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It won't be a common thing. And what's going to happen is our overtime will come out of, if it's an overtime situation, we'll be paid out of the snow and ice fund. So our overtime won't get affected, on our budgets for water and sewer. But Mike was going to put he pretty much just told us that's the way he wants it to be. He wants the roads to be safe. And if we've got trucks sitting in the driveways with plows on them, there's no need for them to be sitting. They should be out plowing. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
Which I agree with. The roads. It was a tough situation for those guys. It was snowing like crazy, and they got far behind on the storm, and the roads were in pretty rough shape. So, and he was kind of new at this. It was his first storm, of course. being in charge, and it was a tough one for him. So,
Yeah.
so Mike Canales, the town administrator, is all for us. You know, Huey's discretion. He'll call us in when he thinks he needs us, and we'll come in and plow.
That's great. That's good. And Tony does too. Good,
Yeah,
good. That's the way the cooperation should be between different departments.
we're all here for the good of the town. You know.
Yeah. Yep. And we've always talked about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Down there, just in general.
I didn't hear you.
How is morale going down there, just in general, since the change?
I mean, it seems fine to me. I mean, I'm not in that, I'm not in the department, but whenever we need help or Huey needs help, it's just a phone call and we got what we need. It's, it seems from my standpoint, and I think Tony's as well. I mean, it seems great to me. I mean, working hand in hand together, interdepartmental, it seems great. In my opinion.
I don't think the air is as thick, if you will, as it was, without getting into it.
It is good. It is good. Let's hope it continues. Mike, one thing I wanted to bring up that's not on the agenda, Quiet Knoll, the sewer line that they wanted to give us. Is there anything, Tony, any movement on that?
Well, it was gonna, it kind of correlates into the special articles I was gonna talk about in the budgets and all that. I thought we should maybe we should just roll right into that.
Yep. Why don't we do that?
Okay, so, not only that one, there's like 6 or 7 little private extensions over the last 10 or 12 years that have been created and that have been built to our town spec, and that the board has approved and everything. And come to find out, what we need to do through Mike Canales and town council, and I think how it's, from what I'm hearing from him, is we need to have it be a special article at town meeting and place all the town or all the private extensions on that warrant article. And I believe this is how he explained it to me, and he needs to confirm it through town council. So say the 6 or 7 Bean Hill, Quiet Knoll, Train Hill, even though, we've, I guess, have sent notice out to people that the commission is fine and we think we own it, we may not legally, only because of how the law is read.
Well, there's a lot of those private lines like Quiet Knoll, also Train Hill, but I know Quiet Knoll just now, they said they're interested in giving it to us, but Train Hill isn't.
They're not interested?
I don't think so. I wish they were, because I know,
Okay, well, that's what we need to find out. We need to find out who is and who isn't, and exactly
we need correspondence from them. Yeah.
Well, we've gotten correspondence from the folks up at the upper end of Quiet Knoll, but really, what we want to do is, we require these people to build these to our specifications, and after talking to Mike Canales, possibly in the future, if this ever happens again, so we don't land where we are now, we put it right in the agreement that within a year, after a year's time of construction, substantial construction completion, the town takes it over.
I wonder if we can do that.
We want to own the infrastructure in our streets.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm not sure legally we can do that. Because
that's what he's looking into. So.
Oh, okay. Good.
So I guess what we have to do is find out, obviously we know Quiet Knoll. We need to find out through whoever wants to be the point person for these little private extensions. I know Bean Hill, we've actually, I think years ago, it's been, just probably 10 years now. I think that we, and also Larry Rod Crossroad, I assumed that because we sent people the letters that we retain ownership of the pipe in the street. So
I think we need something in writing that says that.
Well, I think the town has to vote on it because it's a town way.
Right, but they have to approve that they agree to let
Exactly.
us take ownership of it.
Right. Now, it also opens up another question of, should it have gone to town vote before they constructed it. I don't know. So we're
No,
looking at,
I don't
well, I
think-
don't know. Legally, we need to find that out.
Yep,
So
Yeah.
that's a question for, I guess, town council.
yeah,
So that could be a special article, a possible special article of a couple streets that would say, someone would stand up and read the article and say, will the town accept the Quiet Knoll Road sewer extension, Bean Hill Road sewer extension that was constructed in 2000, whatever,
yeah,
to town specifications? All in favor, say aye. Great. Okay, the town owns the pipe now.
Yeah.
So that's a sewer special article, a possibility. So that's one that I have. The second is our sewage grinder that was put in when we upgraded the plant on the low side of the grit channel at the wastewater plant, is kind of worn out now. There's 6 expensive bearings that are gone in it. It's out of service. It's in our shop, and to buy the parts to repair, I got a price of around $14,000, and that's with our labor. And we repaired it in 8 years ago, and we're back to the same repair again. So I got a price to replace the whole unit for a budget price of $22,500, which totally makes sense to me to just replace it for $22,500 to have a whole new unit. And it's just the unit that actually grinds the sewage, and it's in the water, in the stream, if you will. We have the electrical components and all that already there that can just plug in. So that's going to save us some money.
and how old is that, Tony?
Well, it was put in when we did the upgrade in 2004,
Oh, okay,
and then it was rebuilt 8 years ago.
okay, yep,
And so now we're here again with it totally not functioning because of the moving parts and stuff. It's just in a bad, where it lives is in a good atmosphere, if you will.
It's got the worst job in the plant, probably.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't live in a happy place.
No, it's got a bad job, but it does a good job, but it's not, yeah.
So that's another special article I really would like to put on the warrant. And of course, we need to remember our debt service this year that got forgotten about, never made the cut last year.
90 some odd thousand, yeah.
Yeah, and then
That'll
I
be
would like
twice though, right? Will that be 2 times?
excuse me.
Will that be 200,000 this year? Because the last one was forgotten and we got to do the next one as well.
Yeah, I believe it will. It'll be
Yeah.
like close to 200, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, that was a mistake.
Yeah, well,
Anyway, that's water over the dam.
and then I would like to purchase a new sewer camera for the town. We have one that was purchased, I want to say like the late 90s. It's black and white. It doesn't, if it flips upside down in the pipe, it doesn't redo itself so you can stay, where you want to see, and it doesn't pan. So I would like to, maybe appropriate around $8,000 or $10,000 to get a decent sewer camera and some other equipment that the whole town can use. Like when Huey wants to look in catch basins and drains, and there's a situation right now at the Tuckerman Bridge there where we can't find the outlet to a pipe, and he had to call in somebody with a sewer camera. That I think if the sewer department upgraded their sewer camera, that it would be beneficial to all the departments.
Good.
And then, of course, it's the budgets that we haven't talked about at all, that, I'm assuming we're going to just level fund, and as we have the last 6 years, I guess,
Mhm,
which is fine with me.
yeah. Mike, you all right with that?
Yeah, level funding is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see budgets on the, I didn't know we were going to talk about budgets, but I didn't see it on the agenda unless I got the wrong.
No, I didn't. I didn't put it on the agenda because I had on last month's agenda and I didn't know where that was going to go. So that's
And I
why I
think-
didn't put it.
Tony, did we ask Mike Canales, are we going to sit with the finance again this time, or?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I think we did ask him, but I can't remember what he told me.
I thought he said he liked the idea, and that's what usually he did in his prior work. So maybe we'll go back to that format. I really don't
But if
know.
we're level funding, I don't know what the need is. I mean,
Yeah, true.
We used to do that. Remember, we always met with the finance committee and the selectmen.
Yeah.
And then remember, they stopped all that. So we didn't do it anymore. And
Yeah.
again, we're level funded and we just have articles.
I can foresee when we get the budgetary number in for the pump station replacement, that I'm sure we'll have to sit down, or someone will,
Right.
myself, Mike, maybe a member of the commission, maybe we'll have a Zoom meeting. Who knows how it'll all go down?
Yeah.
And, you know, talk about the funding and the money, and everyone will have a million questions, but that's okay. Well, you know, we'll certainly hopefully have the right answers, but
Yeah.
that would be the contentious one that maybe they would, you know, want to hear a lot about, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
The only question I have for you guys is engineering. I really think that, not that we may necessarily do anything in the next year or two, but I think that, you know, where so much of the original planning on water and sewer was like 20 years ago, that the town should spend a little money just to like look at what kind of long-term plans that you have. You know, I think that some of the notes are getting paid off in the next couple of years, right? You know,
Yes.
is there going to be any expansion? If so, what should the priorities be? I mean, I think that just having somebody looking at those questions is kind of in everyone's interest. Whether or not you act on them or not, that's another thing. I just,
Now, we do have a 5-year plan that I think we're into the third year of our 5-year plan, but we do have a 5-year plan.
yeah, but if we appropriate money at this town meeting, it's for basically for 2022. And by then hiring the engineer, you know, it could take a year to get a report done, and all of a sudden you're 5 years from your original plan. And I just think maybe now is the time to start to think about what happens after that plan.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, and we'll have our special article we'll have for Curtisville Bridge for getting that pipe out of the river, getting that up on the bridge, hopefully. Hopefully the bridge will support it. You know, we'll do a lot of that work, the tie-in and all that once the bridge, you know, water pipes put across the bridge and whatnot. So yeah, to keep these projects and keep the engineering and design in play is important, because the design, you know, you got to wait for the town meeting to get the money, then you can't start spending it till July 1, and you know the construction season's over when things kind of start getting designed, and you got to wait till the following year. So it's a got to keep in front of it for sure. Yeah.
Now we're moving forward with that Tuckerman's thing also, right, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, we got our budget number from Foresight, and we will, you know, once the money's approved at town meeting, you know, they'll in May. We usually cut people loose right at the next day. We say, okay, go ahead and start, and we can't pay you any money till July 1, but go ahead and start doing some work.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Is there anything more for the good of the meeting? I'd just like to say that to thank Jennifer for the wonderful job she's been doing on the minutes. They are very, very detailed, and I think they're over the top. And I want to personally thank Jennifer for that. Great job, Jennifer. Thank you.
Second here, yeah.
Well, you're welcome. And I also want to thank Mike for all his input.
Yeah.
No problem. I got a couple things. Just there's a municipal vulnerability preparedness coming up that we've all been invited to, and I think was there our first meeting tomorrow at 2:00, Patrick? So we'll be involved with that, and it's really an interesting thing, and it should be pretty interesting. So
First
Tony
one's
and
on
I-
like climate change, right?
yeah, preparing for climate change, and yeah.
It opens the door. Once you get your MVP in place, you can apply for action grants to do the things that you need to do. So it's sort of the way the state gets the approval process to get on the state list to be able to do then bigger projects down the road with state money.
And weather obviously affects the wastewater, and it affects our water supply. So it's you know,
Right.
send the clean water out, and they send the dirty stuff back. Weather's a big thing.
Yeah, it sure is.
And the last thing I have is the cat and dog fountain and the horse trough fountain have been put out to bid, and bids were opened, and they're going to have those two sculptures all redone, and I think they're going to go to CPC for some more funding, but they came up a little short on the actual cat and dog fountain for refurbishing and resetting all the stones for the trough itself. The sculpture, they had enough money for. The engineering's all been done. But they're gonna go for more funding for the construction part of the trough. Kate Fletcher and her committee has asked me and to be in on a couple meetings, and that because of the water line that's there, and we've been involved with it for quite a while. And the horse trough, we turn the water on to them every year. So the horse trough itself has got a new water line. When we did the streetscape in '99 with Oakstrom Lang and Caracas, and then when we did the 2010 water mains, it's all new water main all the way past that onto Elm Street. So that trough, the only thing I really wanted with them is we wanted to meter them. That was my big thing, is getting meters in so we know how much water these things use. I usually take a 1 gallon bucket and do a time thing the day we turn it on, and I calculate, and it's anywhere from 150 to 200,000 gallons a year per fountain that we just dump into the ground. Not that that's a problem, but it's just the state wants to see every service metered. So I told them that me and Marky or me and Tony or whoever, we can put the meter pit in. We can put a little meter pit in right behind the horse trough. That's easy. Just hand dig it, and there's already a little access area we have there now. But the cat and dog is a different animal. But when they demo, they're going to cut a slice through the floor of the trough basin of the sculpture, the cat and dog fountain. And I told them that we would put the water line in once the construction crew has the area done, and we put a meter pit in. And that's a 5-foot deep water line there. So I volunteered us to do that. It's a good town, it's a nice thank you, or a good little project for us to do with our own manpower to get the water service with a meter pit in there. And it's kind of the focal point with the Red Line Inn of the town. So it's kind of a nice little thing. I think we talked about it a few meetings ago, I think, but it won't be a really big deal for us to do it. It's just putting the water line in, and that's basically about it. But
has there been any talk at all about recycling or recirculating pumps, or would that just lead to, algae in the water? And
we did talk about it, Don, and it got very, very expensive, very, very fast.
Okay.
And the thing with that is, especially at the horse trough, there's just no room. It's just in a tiny little island surrounded by blacktop, and you got to run power to it where we don't even know where the power would come from. And it was going to be a big expense to get those recycling units in. And then the maintenance that goes along with them. So
yeah, because the cat and dog fountain, I remember as a kid, the water was always full. I mean, it was like a little pond, and then the cat and dog with the spray.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been full, and I don't think that's been filled in 10 years.
No.
This seems that because it's turned down so much, it sort of evaporates.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice to see that all back.
I think that's going to go back to its original splendor, like way back when the main street was dirt. It just used to shoot a fan of water out straight up in the air, like a sunburst. It didn't actually spray. The cat didn't spray at the dog. So I think they're going to put that's going to go back to that original style, the way it was before. It just sprays.
That's what's actually happened. I remember when I was on the Laurel Hill years and years ago, they talked about that, and they actually funded some money for that to be refurbished, the cat and dog thing itself, with some kind of epoxy or whatever it is. But everything was spraying against it, and that's what created everything to be, just to break down, and it wasn't a good thing. So interesting that they're going to do it actually the right way.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Tony, anything else?
Yeah, just got a couple quick things. I'm hoping that with all this, change of personnel and everything, it'd be really nice if we could, the 3 department heads, maybe once a month meet with Mike Canales and just kind of go over, especially maybe not every month in the winter months, but like with spring on the horizon in a couple, 8 weeks or so, figure out what everybody's got on their agenda for the upcoming construction season. And, maybe plot out a course where we can all kind of pitch in and help each other, and we can kind of, plan it. Not so, instead of like just saying, oh, all of a sudden we're going to do a project and, this guy, is expected to be on vacation, so he can't help. And it'd be nice to have some kind of, I don't know, we've never done that before, and maybe
We've
we
been
can pull
talking
that
about
together.
that for years, though.
For years.
We've been wanting to do that with the interdepartments to be able to do that.
We
Matter of
have,
fact, some people running for select boards have talked about that they want that cooperation. And
I
we've
think
always
that,
been,
it's not, I don't think it's so much a selectman thing. I think it has to come from within.
oh, I know, but I'm talking about that when people are running for selectmen, that's one of the things that they talked about.
It'd be nice, like, for instance, what just Mike talked about, the cat and dog fountain. The week of August, sometime in August, the second to third week in August, we plan to put a meter pit in. Huey, maybe we'll need some of your resources, a dump truck, or we'll need you to, in some way, shape, or form, just so he knows what people are going to be doing this summer. We know, they know. Just a thought.
Yeah, not spur of the moment stuff when there's other stuff planned, yeah.
I mean, Huey's got a lot on his plate right now, trying to get into that garage, and I know that's, and he's plowing and everything, but, moving forward, maybe the end of February, when we're starting to think about spring and getting back outside working, we can maybe move towards that. It'd be nice to do.
Yep, sounds good to me.
And just to kind of reiterate about I know nobody likes to spend money on, inflow and infiltration, and it's expensive and everything, but just to reiterate how important it is, like over the Christmas weekend there, when we lost all that snow and we got all that rain, we were inundated at the wastewater plant with flow. So, I mean, it's no mystery that it's there.
We just got to find it.
But we know where it is. They found a lot of it. Thankfully, we've removed a lot of it through the lining of the cross-country easement through the cemetery and Church Street. I can't imagine where we would have been 2 weekends ago had we were still taking all that in. But it's a big issue, especially in a situation like we had, where we had 1.5 feet of snow on the ground and 3 inches of rain predicted. Thankfully, we didn't get it, but we got 1 inch. So, but still, we were inundated, and it was, the plant really, really struggles in situations like that. And if we ever had thankfully we haven't, but if we ever had a catastrophe there, we would really be in a sling with the DEP.
Yeah, that'd be, money.
So it is money well spent. I just want to kind of, throw that out there.
That really should be the priority for what we're doing with the sewer to get
our plant's coming up on, almost 40 years old.
I can't believe it, but anyway, 40 years.
Church Street and that cross-country cemetery easement, I mean, Tone, we would have been pushing 1 million gallons through that place back in the day.
Easily.
So we're weather spotters for DCR since 1948 here. And we melt the snow when we get the snow. And there was, I want to say when I melted that snow that we got, I want to say we measured 14 inches on the loading dock. There was almost 1 inch of water content. So we got 1.4 inches of rain, and then you throw on that other inch of snow melt. So we got, it is almost 3 inches of water that went into the ground. And then
and how fast it melts is a big factor.
Yeah. And there's no frost in the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
That relining for what your value is on the dollar for the cost of that relining is just amazing. It is the way to go. For the bigger pipes.
Yeah, that'd be nice in elm and maple too. That's great to think about. Okay. Anything else, Peter, John?
Nope, I've got nothing. We haven't had a meeting of the SPCA, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I'm all set, done.
Okay. Patrick, thank you for being with us. And someone make a motion, we'll adjourn the meeting.
I move that we adjourn for this month.
Thank you. Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you,
everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.